Good morning. Welcome to day 23. Just had to have a sneaky little look. Day 23? It is day 23. Tuesday. How is everyone doing this morning? I was just going through my flow and then I realised, oh, it's 8:15. Caught me off guard. We're going to do a similar type of flow to what we did yesterday, and we're going to take some elements that we learned at the end of last week. So warrior 2, triangle pose, they just flow really nicely together. Morning, Sal. And yeah, we're just going to put like a little sequence together. You'll notice that we have this kind of piece in the middle. You're probably already starting to notice. We have this kind of connecting piece in the middle of forward fold, halfway lift, sometimes plank pose, sometimes tabletop position, as a way of kind of connecting us when we're standing and when we're down on the ground. We're going to use that a little bit today to move around. But yeah, just feel into it. I'm trying to move us into more kind of flowy territory now, and less kind of these groups of stretches, more into seeing how your breath moves you through a practice. So we're going to begin standing today. And just with feet kind of hip distance apart. If you feel comfortable to do so, you can close down the eyes here. Or if you'd prefer, you can find that drishti spot out in front of you, that focus spot that's not going to move, that you can focus on. And it's just the same as we always do. We just want to bring the awareness inwards. Just bringing the focus onto your breath. Just noticing how it's kind of naturally falling this morning. Just notice anything that comes up. Did you have any reaction to beginning the practice standing rather than seated? And as you're ready, just begin to deepen the breath slightly. Just longer inhales. Trying to match the exhale. Maybe taking those inhales through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. And as we enter more of these kind of more flowy sequences where we're always moving, this is really where the breath comes into its own to keep you moving from pose to pose. It's going to be that tool you can use over and over again to just return to your focus, return to you when maybe things get a little bit more challenging. If your eyes are closed, just begin to blink them open. And we're just going to move some really easy, gentle movements to breath. So as you inhale, send the arms up overhead. Maybe following with the gaze. Exhale, bring the palms together and hands come through heart center before coming down at your sides. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come through center and down at your sides. Let's take some shoulder shrugs. So as you inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, sending them down your back. Inhale, send the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, sending them right down the back. Oh, I am cracking and crunching all over the place. When we're at the top of the mat, just moving to the top. If you're on a mat, of course, but just finding what to you is the top of your mat. And we're going to begin with a high lunge this morning. So just really pressing through that right leg. We're just going to send the left leg back in space behind us. Finding whichever position works best for you. So playing with, your stance. Do you need to be a little bit wider here? Do you want to wiggle that right foot out a little bit wider for a bit more balance? Do you want a slightly shorter stance? Do you want a longer stance? It's all going to affect different parts of the body in different ways, feeling into what's going to serve you best today. You can be slightly bent through that back leg. You can be nice and straight through that back leg, really pointing the heel towards the back. And then when you're ready, inhale, send the arms up overhead. Really engaging through the core here, thinking about integrity all the way through the spine, up through the top of the head. And then as you're ready, we're going to windmill the arms and open out into warrior two. So as you exhale, twisting towards the left, the toes of the right foot are pointing forwards. The toes of the left foot are pointing out towards the left. We've pivoted on that back foot. We're sending our arms out wide. So we're really reaching towards the back of the mat out behind us. Really reaching forwards through our right arm, gazing over the middle finger, pressing into that right knee. Try not to let it slip over towards the left. Really pressing into your foot to maintain nice and square towards the front of the mat. And then as you're ready, we're going to straighten the right leg. Send the right hand down towards the ground, left hand comes up. Finding triangle pose. So if you've got a book or a block here, maybe a big cushion, you can use that to bring the ground up towards you. You can always kind of balance on your shin here or up on your thigh or your hip. If you'd like to, you can reach down towards the ground. Maybe your gaze goes up towards that left hand, but really pressing into the outer edge of the back foot and into your right front foot. When you're ready, coming back up the way we came in, windmill those arms, set that left foot back to the top of the mat to meet the right one. Just going to find that flowing sequence now. So as you inhale, we're going to send the arms, sweep them forwards, sit back into your heels, bend through the knees. Finding chair pose just for a second, you're in control of the intensity. As we exhale, sending the hands down towards the mat, bending through the knees as much as you need in forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back position. Tuck those elbows in towards the body. And then exhale. Send the hands down onto the mat. We're going to find that either tabletop position or you can come to a plank pose here. And then we're just going to slowly but surely come all the way down to lie on our front. With the hands under the shoulders, we're just going to inhale, open the chest, lifting up from the ground. And then as you exhale, coming back down, pressing through the hands, maybe tucking through the toes, sending the hips high just for a second. Going to find downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, we're going to take small steps towards the top of the mat. You know the drill now. We'll meet in that forward fold position. We're just going to inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to standing. Arms come overhead, palms together through heart center, and then down at your sides for mountain pose. Let's take it to the other side. I'm just going to move to the opposite end of my mat so you can see as I demonstrate. We're going to grow nice and heavy and grounded in that left leg as we bring the right leg out behind us for high lunge this time. And again, just playing with what feels best for you here. It might feel completely different on this side. Finding a low lunge that works for you. Inhaling to send the arms up overhead. Just make note of your pelvis here. Does it make sense to tuck the pelvis slightly? If it doesn't feel good, let it do what it wants to do. And then windmilling those arms, let's take it out to warrior two. So the toes of the left foot pointing forwards, and the toes of the right foot pointing out towards the right. Nice and wide through the arms here, gazing over the front finger. Releasing that tension you might feel in the shoulders here. Embodying that warrior. And as you're ready, you're going to straighten through the left leg. Bring the left hand down towards the ground. Right hand comes up, maybe gazing up towards the ceiling, towards that top hand. Keep breathing, keep coming back to that breath when you need it. There'll be lots of wobbles and falling out of poses. And then just windmilling the arms, coming back up the way we came. Meeting at the top of the mat, step that back leg up to meet the front. Inhaling to sweep the arms forwards, find chair pose. Really nice, you're going to sink a bit deeper if you can. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Inhale halfway, flat back position. Exhale, sending the hands down to the mat. Find tabletop here. Only for a brief second because we're going to swing the legs around. We're going to come to sit with our legs long. We're just going to find a seated forward fold. Just something a little bit different today. But it's one of those poses a lot of people tend to think of when they do yoga. So inhale nice and long through the spine. And then as you exhale, maybe bringing the hands onto the legs. They can come down onto the shins maybe. Just gently guide them down the legs, finding where feels best for you to fold down towards. And I always think when you're in seated forward fold, this is when you can really see if you're cranking yourself when you're standing in forward fold. And if you bend your knees, look how much easier it is to grab your feet. Shows you the importance when we're standing of really generously bending the knees. And you can always straighten them as you breathe into it. When you've had enough, just releasing that grip wherever you might have it. Just coming onto the back. Maybe just briefly bringing those knees into chest. Taking some nice, gentle rocking motions here. This will forever be my favourite. It's not often that I miss a knees into chest. And then we're going to end in savasana today. So sending the legs out long. Arms by your sides, palms facing up. Or any other variation that you may choose. That can be seated or soles of the feet together maybe. Just allowing yourself to grow really heavy. Maybe reflecting on how it feels finding this final resting pose now to how it felt right at the very beginning when we first started practicing together. Do you run through your own little checklist now? Running through all those areas you normally hold tension. Just letting your breath return back to normal. Melting down into the mat. I'll leave you here in Shavasana. If you have time, do stay a little longer. But thank you so much for practicing with me. Day 23 in the bag. Don't have much longer left. Have the best day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.